on some of the hottest topics making headlines. Please welcome fashion and beauty expert from America's Next Top Model, Jay Manuel. Fashion director for Us Weekly, Sasha. Welcome to you, Sasha.
Thank you.
And finally, dermatologist Dr. Ann Chappis. Welcome to you as well. All right, let's talk about these untouched photos. It seems like every week another celebrity's untouched photos are being leaked on the internet.
Yes.
One of the most recent cases is Beyonce.
Right.
A large number of photos of her apparently taken from a
L'Oreal shoot.
Right.
From an ad campaign in 2013. And, you know, 200 photos were leaked, unretouched, which you're an expert in. Unretouched, showing her in her natural state, which everybody is completely obsessed with seeing. The Beyonce world who posted these pictures didn't really mean anything, but they got thousands of death threats to bring the entire thing down. So they said, okay, you know, we just meant it as a thing to see Beyonce in her natural state.
A lot of fans were very offended by it because they felt her privacy had been invaded. But there was also a lot of haters out there who had very nasty things to say about her.
Terrible comments.
And you know why Sasha's looking at me? Because well before I was on TV, first of all, I didn't leak the photos, but before I was on television, I used to retouch for a living and as a makeup artist for, you know, huge ad campaigns, celebrities, etc. And, you know, I've seen a lot. I personally feel that, first of all, these photos, she's still a gorgeous woman. This does not take away from her talent. She's a powerful woman, a great mother. She's gorgeous. But you know what? Here's the thing. As a makeup artist, I can see they were using a lot of like gold shimmer. Shimmer under strong light really doesn't photograph too well, so you do have to kind of even that out. There are a few things that you do need to touch up. I think the issue really becomes when you start taking images of women and distorting them to something really beyond. I think the cleaned up photos of Beyonce really is an accurate representation of herself.
But there are a lot of photos that are distorted. And
yes.
Dr. Chappis, do you still have patients coming in to see you who believe that the photos that they look at in magazines are the real deal as opposed to Photoshop?
I have patients come in almost on a regular basis with a picture of something in a magazine saying, I want my skin to look like this. And I actually am glad they leaked these photos because I think it shows what her skin actually looks like.
Sure.
And she has normal skin. She has normal skin problems. She has a little bit of acne, a little bit of discoloration. That's absolutely normal. And I think sometimes people, you know, look at these photos and they think, I can achieve this. And they have to realize these are not actual photos.
I think that intellectually we know that the photos are retouched, but when you're bombarded with the images day after day after day from the time that you're small, I do think you build up within yourself a disappointment in the way you look because you're never going to look that way.
Right. But at the end of the day, images in magazines are about, you know, aspiration. We aspire to them. Like, for instance, if we look at, is it the Harper's Bazaar cover right now with Rihanna in it? I mean, she's in a shark. Do we believe that she's really in a shark's mouth? No, we don't.
So that there is this evilness that people have within them where they want to know these things, and they do it.
Sure.
That's completely vicious.
No, I agree.
And that wasn't their intention.
Now, I have a lot of people who've said, oh, well, we don't want to see retouched photos, but then when I've been caught out and I don't look good, the haters that come out and say such, and I mean, I have feelings, you know, these people have feelings, and it's really cruel things that are said, so you can't win, you know, and she didn't want the pictures, she didn't ask for those pictures to be released, which makes the difference.
Can I bring this up, and I know I'll get in trouble for going too long, but let's look at the turn of the century when women started wearing makeup. That was the time, that was that version of retouching. Nowadays, women walk around with makeup, we're all sitting here on TV with tons of powder and makeup. That's a version of retouching, so it's like, where does it stop?
Where does it stop, right? Well, speaking of that, what do you have? The Bikini Bridge, remember that?
Yes.
What preceded that? There was something even before that. The thigh gap. Thigh gap. You know that? Where women were trying to achieve space between their thighs. Right, they didn't want the thighs to touch. Then the Bikini Bridge was when your bones stuck out so much, your hip bones, that when you put a bikini on, it was like a bridge with the space between the bikini. I have never experienced this. and your abdomen. But now, this to me, the hottest new body part is the mons pubis. You know what that is? That is the fleshy, sort of fatty tissue on the pubic bone, and it's all the rage now because of Sports Illustrated. Hannah Davis is on the cover of this year's Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, flashing hers or the lack thereof, you know. So let's start with the medical side here.
Let's talk about what it is.
Where is it? What is it?
Right.
And is this a new trend?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. You're reading about people getting their mons pubis lifted.
Right. So,
a pubic lift. I kid you not.
Pubic lift. It does exist. So let's talk about it. So the mons pubis is actually the very bottom of our torso. So it actually goes from the top of your bikini line all the way to your pubic bone. So it is part of the torso. It's actually a little fatty mound that develops during puberty, and both men and women have it. And how big it is and how loose it is depends on your age, weight, all those genetic factors. And people are starting to pay attention to their whole torso, including their mons pubis.
So,
But isn't it just enough that we have to have babies? And I had twins, and now I have to worry about my mons. I love saying mons pubis. That I have to worry about that little area of thigh.
Yeah.
Well, the New York Times.
The New York Times ran a great opinion piece about this, and the title of it was, "Great, another thing to hate about ourselves."
Yeah.
That's as if it wasn't bad enough. Do you know what? I was Googling all of this last night, which is even of itself. My Google history is so weird. But do you know that, when I was coming of age, women had pubic hair.
Yeah.
Now everybody shaves. If you go to a porn site, not that I have, but I was doing this. Pubic hair is now considered a fetish.
Yeah.
That to me is so bizarre. I don't know where we're headed. It's just
well, interestingly, we actually are into the 1970s in fashion. So I think that anything that's 70s is making its return, including pubic hair everywhere. Or chest hair.
If
it's
I
a
waited
little
long
crazy.
enough, I knew I'd be in again. Yeah, there you go. All right. Up next, women in their early 20s are getting Botox to prevent wrinkles, but does it work? Find out next.